My name is Jonathan Lowe, and I was the engineer and mixer for the Hop Along Shaking Through session. Well, coming into the day, a lot of elements of the song were still pretty open-ended as far as the dynamics and intensity of the song and how the lead vocal was going to turn out. I think we made some really important decisions as that stuff was developing. So it was kind of getting put together a lot more than when it actually came into this room.
My perception of this is that this song is not as medium and mellow as you guys think it is. Cool. That it has, especially by the end, you guys really sort of show you have the rockin' end. And I think you can sort of hint at that top level throughout the song, mostly with your fills. They were initially setting up with lighter sounds, less gainy, less driven sounds. And John and I just heard from a purely engineering standpoint that the right sounds were heavier sounds. It's less that we pushed it in a direction. It's more that we had a little bit more of an objective perspective on the song than the band themselves had. Watch how lightly he is. That? Yeah, he really could hit it just more. It seems like he's trying to be conservative.
The dynamics and intensity thing comes from how you actually have to play your instrument to get a certain tone out of it. So if you were to play drums really quietly and raise them up in volume, it still sounds like you're playing really delicately and laid back. But if you really dig in, it sounds a lot more powerful. This was a song where it was supposed to be dug into.
We're watching you do it and you're like, but.
Yeah.
You're really gently hitting it.
Got it.
Do it just sort of,
rock and roll.
Play it normal.
Play like rock and roll.
You don't have to bash it.
Yeah.
But I think you're sort of way on the soft side.
Got it. Slap it.
Mark started digging in a little bit harder and it just totally blew the song wide open. It set up a nice basis for everything to be so large and so kind of upfront and in your face.
Yeah, that's great. Why don't you guys come in and we'll listen to it? And we'll just sort of discuss what's going on.
For this session, Studio Logic Sound gave us an array of AEA mics, including the 440, the KU4, the 840, 84, and R92. They also gave us a retro stay level and a pair of Heritage 1073s, one being the 500 unit and the other is the rack-mounted version with the 2264 compressor.
They also gave us an SB 4001, which is the new Serpent Audio 500 series bus compressor. And he sent us the Josephson C700, which is a really uniquely designed dual capsule microphone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We cut the basic track and kind of blasted the song out live with drums, bass, scratch guitar, and scratch vocal. Frances was playing her semi-hollow guitar through the Bad Cat, which sounded really, really amazing. And that was mic'd up with a Telefunken M81, and then had her play acoustic, which we also doubled up and mic'd up with the C700. And then the lead guitar was played by Joe, was his AC30, and that was mic'd up with an AAR92 and the 840 as a room mic. Right after that, we did a couple more guitars, keys, and ornamental stuff, and went by really smoothly. When it was time for vocals, we set up a lot of microphones just to shoot out because we had so many amazing and different varieties of microphone. So we put up the Neumann U67, the KU4, the R440, and the Josephson C700.
So we're just shooting out the mics. That's all we're doing here. So don't blow out your voice. Once we kind of figure out what it is, we'll just remove everything and have you sing into one. You follow that?
Well, I'm only going to do it if there's 4 of them.
Exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of times people think that responsible engineering is to narrow down to the one correct microphone, the one correct preamp, the one correct compressor. And the truth of the matter is you make your decisions fast and you go with them. They have repercussions and consequences, but that's kind of the fun of production, is sometimes willfully painting yourself into a corner and seeing where that goes.
In your hand are supposed to mean.
Awesome.
That's the mic.
You win.
Cool.
Yeah.
We came away with it with the AEA 440, and it just sounded so huge, and the mid-range was so detailed, and it was just a very unique sounding mic that, you know, matched Francis's like very unique delivery. We ended up going with that into Heritage 1073 and the stay level.
Shaking up the geranium outside, the old dog resigned.
So Francis's vocals were something we haven't dealt with in kind of a while, which is awesome, which is a hyper-narrative vocal approach. As opposed to, say, a conventional melody-based song, this is a completely performance-based vocal.
I feel like I can do it better when I'm more intense. I was trying to be able to hold back, but I feel like when I hold back, it just doesn't sound very good.
Sure. Well, it sounds
I
good.
don't know.
Well, go be intense. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Show us what you mean when you say intense. A performance-based vocal is going to have a continually evolving and mutating arc. You got to get that arc right. That arc does have to properly span the beginning to the end of the song. So when we approach this song, it behooves the production for us to be in her mode rather than, you know, the mode that we would typically be in for a more conventional vocal performance. You're listening for a different balance of things, and you're just making sure it works.
It kind of went back to being evenly intense
Yeah, right.
the whole way through, which wasn't what I just want to make sure it's paced.
Yeah. Do you want to mess around, try pass where you sort of explore a bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be good.
In the end, it's great because it's like a person on a rampage that you're really compelled to listen to for purposes of like their energy and like the poetry in the song and all that kind of stuff. So, in my opinion, it's a huge success.
Do it.
Well, going into the beginning of the day with some of these open-ended parts, like with the drum dynamics and how to capture a vocal that is so like volatile and changing the entire time. I think my role is just to kind of figure out how these pieces would come together and accompany each other in the way that it would work in the song.
I think on the fly, John and I really did a good job of keeping on top of what was ultimately driving this recording in the direction of working for them. And to create something that they come out thinking like, yeah, that's not just good, but that's incredibly awesome.